Good evening, and welcome to Sleep Sanctuary, where calmness and imagination meet to guide you into a restful sleep. Tonight, let us escape the weight of the day and step into a world where the ordinary fades and the extraordinary begins. Close your eyes and imagine the quiet hum of a night station under a vast sky ablaze with stars. The air is crisp and still, carrying a sense of mystery as if the universe itself is holding its breath. The faint sound of a train whistle echoes in the distance, inviting you on a journey unlike any other, a journey through the Valley of Stars. As you stand on the platform, the soft glow of lanterns dances against the polished wood. In the distance, the train approaches, its silver body gleaming under the starlight, like a thread weaving through the fabric of the night. The hum grows louder, and with it, a growing sense of anticipation. You step closer, feeling the ground hum beneath your feet as the train pulls into view. The doors open with a soft sigh, revealing a warm, welcoming interior. As you step aboard, you are greeted by the comforting scent of aged wood and leather seats. You find your place by a wide window, and as the train begins its steady motion, the world outside transforms. The dark valleys unfurl before you, bathed in a soft silver glow. Stars blanket the sky so thickly it feels as if you could reach out and touch them. The rhythmic sound of the train on the track sets the perfect pace, a gentle lullaby carrying you deeper into the night. Around you, the other passengers settle in, some quiet, others murmuring softly. Their faces, lit by the dim golden light of the train's lanterns, hold stories waiting to be told. Through the window, the landscape shifts and changes, a tapestry of rolling hills, shadowy trees, and valleys so deep they seem to cradle the heavens. The stars seem alive, whispering secrets only the night can hear. As you gaze out, you feel a quiet sense of wonder, as though you've entered a place where time stands still. This is no ordinary journey. Here, under the watchful eyes of the stars, every soul aboard carries a story, and tonight, those stories will unfold. The train moves forward, carrying you into a night brimming with promise, wonder, and quiet reflection. Tonight, as we journey deeper into the Valley of Stars, let us take a moment to pause and breathe, allowing the serenity of the night to wash over us. Close your eyes, if you'd like, and imagine yourself seated on the softly rocking train. Feel the gentle motion beneath you, the rhythmic hum of the wheels gliding along the tracks, like a heartbeat in perfect harmony with the universe. Take a deep breath in, slowly, and let the cool, crisp air fill your lungs. Hold it for a moment, then exhale, letting go of any tension you've carried through the day. With each breath, feel your body relax, your shoulders soften, your hands rest easy, and your mind begins to quiet. Now, picture the world outside the train's window. The sky stretches endlessly, a canvas of sparkling stars shimmering like jewels against the velvet dark. The valleys below are peaceful and still, their gentle curves illuminated by the soft glow of moonlight. A faint breeze whispers through the trees, carrying with it the promise of calm. As the train moves steadily through this dreamlike landscape, let your thoughts drift like clouds in the sky. There's no need to hold on to them, just let them pass, one by one, as you focus on the soothing sounds around you. The soft murmur of distant voices, the occasional creak of the train, and the steady rhythm of the journey, all of it blends into a melody of tranquility. Feel yourself sinking deeper into this moment, weightless and at peace. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, except here, in this perfect stillness. Breathe in the beauty of the stars and exhale into the comfort of the night. Let the valley of stars guide you to a place of restful serenity. Before we begin, if you enjoy calming bedtime stories, consider liking this video and subscribing for more relaxing content. Now, let's get back to our story. The train glides through the starlit valley, its steady rhythm blending with the hum of the night. The world outside feels vast yet intimate, as though the stars themselves lean closer to listen. Inside the warm, golden glow of the train car, passengers sit quietly, their faces illuminated with soft light, their thoughts hidden yet alive with stories untold. I sit by the window, gazing out at the shimmering heavens, when the gentle rustle of paper pulls my attention. Seated across from me is a passenger, a young woman with an artist's satchel by her side, her hands busy sketching on a small notebook. The motion of her pencil seems to mirror the train's movement, fluid and unbroken. Noticing my curiosity, she glances up and smiles. "The stars are something else tonight, aren't they?" she says, her voice as soft as the night. "I've been chasing them for years." Intrigued, I ask what she means, and she shares her story. She's an artist, a dreamer, she tells me, always searching for inspiration in the beauty of the world. For years, her sketches felt hollow, as though something vital was missing. "I spent so much time trying to create perfection," she says, "but I'd forgotten how to feel wonder." It was during one sleepless night, gazing at the stars from her small apartment window, that she rediscovered that wonder. She saw not just points of light but stories etched into the fabric of the universe, tales of longing, beauty, and connection. Since that night, she has been traveling, following the stars, letting their brilliance guide her to new places, new perspectives, and, most importantly, to herself. She shows me her notebook, flipping through pages filled with sketches of constellations, moonlit valleys, and fleeting moments captured in delicate strokes. "Every star has its story," she says, "and sometimes, when I look at them long enough, I feel as though they're telling me who I am, who I was meant to be." As she speaks, I find myself drawn into her words, her story resonating with a quiet truth within me. The train passes through another valley, where the stars appear so close they seem to brush the tops of the hills. Their light spills through the window, casting shimmering patterns on the floor, as if the heavens themselves are affirming her tale. I watch her continue to sketch, her movements confident yet tender, as though she's translating the starlight into something tangible. The sight stirs something within me, a memory of times I, too, had felt awe but had let it slip away in the rush of daily life. Before the train slows for the next station, she glances at me and says, "You don't have to chase the stars to find them, you know. Sometimes you just need to look up." With those words, she gathers her satchel and prepares to leave. I watch her step off the train and into the night, her silhouette fading into the starlit valley beyond. Yet her presence lingers, her story etched into the journey, her words echoing in my mind. As the train resumes its journey, I find myself gazing out at the sky with new eyes. The stars seem brighter now, not just distant points of light, but reminders of wonder, of beauty, of stories yet to be told. I lean back into my seat, letting the rhythm of the train carry me further into the valley of stars, the artist's story settling into my heart like the light of the constellations above. Her words stay with me, "You don't have to chase the stars to find them. Sometimes you just need to look up." The train moves onward, the stars above shimmering with promises of more stories waiting to unfold. The train glides deeper into the valley of stars, the outside world bathed in silver light. The stars above seem to grow brighter, their soft glow spilling into the train car, illuminating the faces of those around me. The hum of the tracks beneath our feet feels like a heartbeat, steady and reassuring, as though it's in harmony with the rhythm of the night. Across the aisle sits an older man, his hands folded over a weathered leather satchel. His posture is relaxed, but his eyes tell a different story, a quiet longing, as if he's waiting for something, or someone, just beyond reach. I can't help but feel drawn to him, curious about the stories those eyes might hold. As the train slows for a moment, gliding through a valley where fireflies dance like fallen stars, the man catches me watching. He smiles, a faint, knowing curve of his lips. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he says, nodding toward the window. "It reminds me of a night long ago." His voice is gentle, yet tinged with something heavier, a mix of nostalgia and regret. I ask him what he means, and he begins to tell his story. Years ago, he had someone he loved deeply, a woman who shared his fascination with the stars. They spent countless nights under the night sky, dreaming of adventures and a future filled with light. But life, as it often does, had other plans. "Time pulls us in different directions," he says, his gaze fixed on the stars outside. "We thought we had all the time in the world. But one day, she left to chase her dreams, and I stayed behind to chase mine. We never found our way back to each other." His voice falters for a moment, and he takes a deep breath before continuing. "I spent years wondering if she looked up at the same stars, if she thought of me the way I thought of her. But I was too afraid to reach out, too proud, maybe. And then, one day, I looked up and realized how much time had passed. I decided I couldn't let the stars be the only connection between us. He pauses, his hand resting on the satchel. That's why I'm on this train, he says softly. I found out she's living in a little town at the end of this valley. I don't know if she'll want to see me, or if she even remembers me, but I had to try. The train passes through another valley, the stars above reflected in a still, dark lake. For a moment, it feels as though the entire universe is holding its breath, waiting for his story to unfold. I tell him I admire his courage, his willingness to take a step into the unknown after so many years. He smiles, though his expression remains tinged with uncertainty. The stars taught me something, he says. They're always there, even when we don't see them. And maybe love is the same. The train slows again, approaching a small station nestled among the hills. The man picks up his satchel, his hands trembling ever so slightly. Before he steps off, he turns to me and says, "Thank you for listening." Sometimes, it helps to share the weight of the past. I hope you find what you're searching for, too. I watch him step into the cool night air, his silhouette disappearing into the glow of the stars. My heart feels heavy yet hopeful, his words lingering like a melody carried on the wind. As the train pulls away, I find myself staring out at the endless sky, wondering how many stars connect us to the ones we've lost, or those we've yet to find. The journey continues, and I feel a quiet longing of my own, a pull to uncover the connections in my life that the stars might reveal. The train pushes onward, its wheels singing a steady tune that seems to harmonize with the vastness of the night. The valley of stars stretches wide and open, with the constellations above painting tales across the heavens. Inside the softly lit carriage, the passengers settle deeper into their seats, the hum of quiet conversations blending with the gentle motion of the train. Not far from me, a young boy sits with his nose pressed against the glass, his small hands gripping the windowsill. His eyes, wide with wonder, reflect the shimmering stars outside. Beside him is an older woman, perhaps his grandmother, her expression warm and patient as she watches him gaze into the night. I can't help but smile at the boy's awe, his wonder so pure it feels contagious. As the train rounds a bend, revealing a new cluster of stars, he lets out an audible gasp. "It's like they're alive," he says, his voice filled with delight. His grandmother chuckles softly, her voice kind and steady. "They are alive in their own way," she says, her words catching my attention. I lean slightly closer, listening as she continues. "Do you want to hear a story about the stars?" The boy nods eagerly, his excitement almost palpable. The grandmother leans closer to him, her tone shifting into that of a storyteller. Long ago, she begins, there was a little girl who loved the stars more than anything else. She would spend her nights staring at them, wondering what it would feel like to touch one. She believed they weren't just lights in the sky, but spirits, watching over us, guiding us when we felt lost. The boy's eyes grow even wider. Did she ever touch one? The grandmother smiles, her gaze drifting to the window as though looking into the past. In a way, she did. You see, one night, as she lay in the grass beneath the stars, she made a wish. It wasn't a wish for toys or treats, but for courage to chase her dreams, even when they seemed far away, like the stars themselves. The boy leans closer, utterly captivated. What happened next? She grew up, the grandmother says, her voice soft but strong. She faced challenges, doubts, and fears, but she never forgot her wish. And every time she felt lost, she'd look up at the stars and remember that they were watching over her, just as they watch over all of us. They reminded her that no dream is too far, and no journey is too long as you have the courage to take the first step. For a moment, the boy is silent, his young mind processing the story. Then he asks, "Was the little girl you?" The grandmother's smile deepens, her eyes glistening in the starlight. "Perhaps," she says, her tone playful yet meaningful. "Or maybe it was someone like me, someone who found their courage among the stars." The train moves through a clearing where the sky feels impossibly close, the stars so bright they seem to spill into the carriage. The boy stares out the window again, his expression thoughtful. "I think I want to wish on a star, too," he says softly. His grandmother nods. "Then do it, little one. Close your eyes and let your heart speak. The stars are always listening." As I watch the boy close his eyes, a quiet stillness settles over the train. It feels as though we are all part of this moment, connected by the stars above and the shared act of hope. The grandmother catches my gaze and offers a gentle nod, as if to say, "You, too, can make a wish." And so, I do. For a moment, I let my thoughts drift, my own wish forming in the quiet corners of my mind. The train continues its journey, the boy's wish joining the countless dreams carried under the watchful eyes of the stars. The train hums along the winding tracks, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels blending seamlessly with the night symphony. The Valley of Stars, still bathed in celestial light, stretches endlessly before us, the stars above sparkling like tiny diamonds scattered across velvet. The beauty is almost overwhelming, as though the very heavens are watching, waiting for something. I sit back in my seat, allowing the gentle motion of the train to ease me into a peaceful state. The quiet moments seem to stretch longer, and the soft murmur of the other passengers drifts in and out of my awareness. At the far end of the carriage, I notice a woman standing near the door, her face hidden beneath the shadow of her wide-brimmed hat. She's clutching a guitar case, her posture rigid as though she's waiting for the right moment to speak or to sing. Her presence feels different from the others, a quiet energy that draws me in, and I find myself unable to look away. The train slows as we enter a particularly still stretch of the valley, where the stars hang like lanterns in the sky. The woman steps forward, her movements deliberate yet graceful. She lifts the guitar case gently, opening it with a soft, deliberate click. The other passengers seem to notice her then, the murmurs of conversation gradually fading as she takes the guitar into her hands. She adjusts the strings with a practiced touch, her fingers moving with a familiarity that hints at years of practice. Finally, with a deep breath, she looks up, her eyes meeting mine for the first time. There is a quiet sadness there, but also something else, something profound, as though her heart is speaking through the strings. Without a word, she begins to play, the first few notes a soft murmur in the air. The melody is gentle at first, like the wind passing through the trees, but it soon builds into something more haunting, a song full of longing and love, loss and hope. The sound of the guitar fills the space around us, wrapping us in its warmth. As the music flows, the passengers fall silent. Even the train seems to slow, its motion barely perceptible, as if giving space for the song to weave through the hearts of those listening. The woman's eyes flutter closed as she sings, her voice delicate but strong, as if each note carries the weight of a lifetime's worth of emotions. I once had a love, she sings, her voice barely above a whisper. A love that bloomed like the stars, shining brighter with each passing day. But love, like the stars, can burn out. It fades into the distance, leaving only memories behind. The words stir something within me, a feeling I can't quite name. There's a truth in them, a deep, aching truth that feels both familiar and new. I wonder if she, too, is journeying through the valleys of the stars, searching for something or someone lost in the distance. As the song continues, the music shifts, becoming more uplifting, like the promise of a new day breaking through the darkness. It is as though the woman is not merely singing of loss, but also of the possibility of renewal, of finding peace after the storm. The melody dances through the carriage, filling the air with a sense of hope, and I feel the weight of the world soften, if only for a moment. When the final note fades into silence, there is a stillness that lingers. The stars outside seem to shine just a little brighter, as though they, too, have been touched by the song. The woman opens her eyes, meeting the gazes of the passengers. She smiles softly, a smile that carries both sorrow and gratitude, as if to say, "This song was for you." There is a moment of quiet before the first round of applause breaks out, gentle but sincere. The woman lowers the guitar, her shoulders relaxing as though a burden has been lifted. Without saying another word, she gathers her instrument and walks to the back of the train, disappearing into the shadows of the car. The applause fades, but the warmth of the music lingers in the air, a soft reminder that even in moments of sadness, there is always a song to lift the heart. As the train moves on, I find myself lost in thought, the song echoing through me. Perhaps, like the woman, we are all carrying a melody within us, one that is waiting to be played when the moment is right. I look out the window at the endless stars above, and for the first time in a long while, I feel a quiet peace, knowing that the journey is as much about the songs we sing as the places we go. The train glides through the heart of the valley, its gentle rhythm a constant companion to the vast, star-strewn skies above. Outside, the landscape has transformed into something ethereal, a shimmering expanse of silver grass that sways softly under the glow of the heavens. The stars seem closer now, their light casting a faint glow across the train's carriages, as if we are traveling not just through a valley, but through the very fabric of the cosmos. In the carriage, the passengers are quiet, lost in their own reflections. Some are gazing out of the windows, others sitting with eyes closed, their faces peaceful. The journey has become more than just a trip, it feels like a shared dream, one where time moves differently, and the boundaries between the earth and sky blur. As I sit back, letting the tranquility of the moment wash over me, a voice breaks the silence. It is a man seated a few rows ahead, his voice low and steady, yet filled with emotion. "Have you ever wondered," he begins, turning slightly to address those nearby, "if the stars are more than lights in the sky? If they're connections, bridges between moments, between people?" A few heads turn toward him, curiosity flickering in their eyes. Encouraged, he continues. "There's a story I've carried with me for years," he says, his tone soft but magnetic. "A story of a bridge of stars." The passengers lean in, and I find myself doing the same, drawn to his quiet yet powerful presence. The man glances out the window, his gaze distant, as if he's looking back in time. "It happened long ago," he says, "on a night much like this one. I was a young man then, filled with dreams and ambitions, but also weighed down by regrets. I had just lost someone dear to me, someone I loved more than words can express. I felt adrift, as if the world had lost its color, its meaning. And so, I did what many do when they're lost, I wandered." He pauses, his eyes shimmering with memories. "One night, my wandering brought me to a hill overlooking a quiet valley. The sky was alive with stars, more vibrant than I had ever seen before. I lay on the grass, staring up at them, and for the first time in what felt like an eternity, I felt a strange sense of calm. It was as if the stars were speaking to me, whispering that I wasn't as alone as I thought." The passengers listen intently, their expressions mirroring his emotions. And then, he continues, "Something extraordinary happened. As I watched the sky, the stars seemed to shift, aligning themselves into a pattern, a bridge stretching across the heavens. It was breathtaking, and though I didn't understand it at first, I felt an overwhelming urge to follow it, as if it were calling me. He smiles faintly, the memory clearly vivid. I followed that bridge of stars, not with my feet, but with my heart. Each step was a memory, a connection to someone I had loved, someone who had shaped my life. My parents, my friends, my first love, they were all there, each star a reminder of the bonds that had defined me. The regrets I had carried began to lift, replaced by gratitude for the moments I had shared with them. The man's voice softens, becoming almost a whisper. By the time the bridge faded, I felt whole again. I realized that the stars weren't just lights in the sky, they were markers of connection, of love, of everything that binds us together, even when we think we're alone. And that night, I made a promise to carry that understanding with me, to never forget the bridge of stars that had shown me the way. A deep silence settles over the carriage as his story concludes, the weight of his words lingering in the air. Outside, the stars seem to twinkle in agreement, as if they, too, remember the bridge he spoke of. I glance around the carriage and see that others are moved as well. Some are wiping away quiet tears, others are staring out into the night, their expressions thoughtful. I, too, feel a warmth in my chest, a quiet understanding that resonates with the man's story. The train carries us onward, the bridge of stars now a part of all our journeys, a reminder that no matter how far we travel, the connections we've made light the way forward. The train slows as it approaches the final stretch of its journey, the rhythmic clatter of its wheels growing softer, like a heartbeat gradually easing into stillness. The valley of stars outside seems to shimmer with even more brilliance, the celestial lights above casting their glow over the silver grass and rugged cliffs. It feels as if the universe itself is watching, holding its breath as we near the end. I glance around the carriage. The passengers, who began this journey as strangers, now seem like old friends, bound together by the stories we've shared. Each of us carries something new, an insight, a memory, a piece of someone else's heart. The quiet hum of the train feels like the backdrop to a symphony of human connection. A voice over the intercom announces our final destination, though it's left unnamed. "Prepare yourselves," the voice says gently, almost reverently. "We will soon arrive at the place where the stars meet the earth." The train begins to slow even further, and the world outside transforms. The valley narrows into a passage flanked by towering cliffs that glisten as if studded with gemstones. Above, the stars grow impossibly vivid, painting the sky in hues of blue, gold, and silver. It's as though the heavens have descended, creating a tapestry that stretches infinitely in all directions. The passengers lean forward, their gazes transfixed. Someone whispers, "It's like a dream," and I silently agree. As the train glides into the final station, we are greeted by an otherworldly sight, a platform glowing softly under the starlight, edged by a bridge that seems to stretch into the cosmos itself. The bridge is ethereal, its surface appearing as though it's woven from stardust and light. One by one, we step off the train, each of us drawn toward the bridge as though compelled by some unseen force. There is no sound but the faint hum of the stars, no movement except the gentle sway of the silver grass in the valley below. I take a step onto the bridge and feel a warmth radiating from it, as if the stars themselves are welcoming me. Around me, the other passengers are silent, their faces illuminated with awe. Some walk ahead, eager to explore what lies beyond, others linger, taking in the moment as though committing it to memory. As I stand there, I feel a deep sense of peace washing over me, the kind that comes not from answers but from understanding. The bridge seems to stretch into infinity, and yet, I know that its purpose isn't to lead us somewhere physical. It's a path of reflection, a way to reconcile the stories we've heard, the memories we've unearthed, and the emotions we've carried. I close my eyes and take a deep breath, allowing the stillness of the moment to settle within me. I think of the woman with the guitar, her song still resonating in my chest. I think of the old man's bridge of stars and the many lives his story illuminated. I think of the woman who spoke of constellations as maps of longing, of the traveler who shared his tale of love and forgiveness. When I open my eyes, the stars seem closer, as if inviting me to take the next step. But I don't feel rushed. This journey has been about more than destinations. It has been about the moments in between, the quiet conversations, the shared glances, the courage to open one's heart. The passengers begin to disperse, some venturing further down the bridge, others pausing to take in the stars one last time. I linger near the edge, feeling the faint hum of the train behind me and the infinite expanse of the cosmos ahead. As the journey fades into memory, I feel a quiet voice within me, as though the stars themselves are speaking. This is not an ending, they seem to say. It is a beginning. The light you found here will guide you, always. The bridge stretches onward, but I take one last look at the train, its windows glowing softly like lanterns in the night. With a sense of gratitude, I turn back to the stars, their light leading me forward. The story fades with a gentle whisper, carrying this final thought: rest well, and may your dreams shine as brightly as the stars that light the way. Thank you for listening. If this story helped you relax, please like the video and subscribe for more. Sweet dreams.